Okay, now after reading the above text, you know, and have found your print screen key on your keyboard, we can proceed on how to make level guides from our screenshots. I'm going to use 55, level 55 throughout the videos because it will fit into everything that we need to do regarding how we make our guides, whether with or without the scrolling charm. So the first thing you need to do is click into game 55. We need to collect our stats for the game before we do anything else. I always keep a notepad beside me because not only do I write down the stats, I also go through the layout of my first picture, what I see, and the strategy that I start with. Then each picture that I take after that, I will also write in the strategy I used for that particular picture to get to my next level. Now, you need to write in the number of bubbles in your cauldron, which you cannot do until you enter the game. But before you enter the game, you can get the points required for each star in order to pass into the next level. And even if you've already played the game, you can go over the star and it will give you the recommended or the required points to get the first, second, and third stars. So you write those in. You also want to write down the potions that you use. For this particular level, I already know that I need 3 bubbles, 3 holes in the ceiling, and the rainbow bubble. So you write down your recommended potions to help you with the game. You never want to use 3 holes in the ceiling though when you have bombs in or near the ceiling because they will ignite, as you will find when you play the game. Now, when you go into the game, for your numbers of bubbles in your cauldron, you will see that my cat just entered 3 extra bubbles. So we have to subtract those 3 bubbles. I have the Charm of Plenty as well, which adds 5 permanent bubbles in my cauldron. So right off the bat, I have to subtract 8. And to start your game, you have 80 bubbles in your cauldron, and that's what you write down. This is the first screen you want to take a picture of. It shows the top. This is what you see when you open the game. And you just push your print screen and go over to start. I use paint. And I double clicked it, which is why it showed down here. That's fine. Click paste. Go down to this little save box. We'll say save and save it. Give it a title. Make sure it's one that you'll remember. It is our first picture, so we label it A, so that each successive picture will be B, C, whatever. You usually only need a couple of pictures, sometimes 3, and then when it's a really long layout, like this particular picture, you might need 4. But this is what I write in for this particular game. But, so I already played these games previously, I don't want to mix them up, I'll write sample. I will do a series of pictures, videos, because I'm not able to get everything into one, and it might make it easier for you as well. After you've labeled it, go down into your format and pick your JPEG format. That's what we use. It's a universal format. Save it, and that's it for your picture. You don't need to do anything else for now. It's something you can go back and do. Go back to your game and you start playing the game, and go with your strategy. For instance, you'll have to drop these doom bubbles over here. You may already know, and as I do, that there are infection bubbles above that they cannot see. And since you've already played through the game, you might want to mention that to them because that will help them and help you determine the strategy you need to use to best play this game. Your level guides should have a 2 or 3 star game for your players to view, giving your strategy. That helps them out a little bit more. You also want to do them in a way that will be used by the non-charm players. As far as your recommended charms and potions, you write that in your stats, or your recommended charms, and now wishes for charms, because sometimes if we don't have the charm, we have to buy a wish for that charm to use in the game. So it's recommended charms and wishes that you want to write in there, and you also write in your stats what the extra bubbles are. For this particular example, we have doom bubbles. we know that there's infection bubbles above. As you play the game and you see that there's more obstacles, you add it to your little notes so that when you put it all together, your members or group will know exactly what they're going to be facing when they get there. So you play a little bit of this game, which I will do, and as you get further ahead of the game, you stop and take a screenshot. So I'll pause here and show you exactly what it is that I mean. Okay, so I've played a little ways through my game, and I've dropped those lower dooms. I've stopped the infection on the right. I've stopped the infection on the left, even though it's gone one below where I need, but I can still see where I can drop it above the top. There's only one space between the infection bubble and the upper doom bubbles. Since this is a new obstacle too, you'll need to draw that into your pictures, label them later. I will show you how to do that in the next video. So basically you take a print screen of this, that was the wrong button, go over to your paint, paste, label, this is level 55B, that's our second picture. Mark a JPEG, and you're set for when you go back and fix your pictures. Now I'll play a little bit further. The last picture, you want to make sure that the ceiling is seen. That is your last picture. And then you don't need to take any more. You don't have to show dropping it or anything. Just make sure the stars are shown in the ceiling, and that you give them the strategy on how to drop, if they need to drop the obstacles, or the best way to go about dropping the ceiling, using the rainbow bubble to help, or whatever. Each case is different. I'm just giving you different examples. You can play around and see what works best for you, but the real key is to get that strategy they need in order to get to the ceiling and get at least 2 stars, whether they use charms or not. So I'm going to put this on pause, play through this game, and see how we progress. Okay, in this picture, I've dropped my lower obstacles, the infection on the left and the lower dooms. My screen has lowered, and we already know that we're going to have to drop this infection on the right. You can take a picture here, or you can wait until after you drop the infection bubbles. It's really up to you, but I do want to show that those lower obstacles are dropped, my screen has lowered, and what shows above, which is more doom bubbles, of course. So I take a print screen of this, go back to my paint, paste, save, and label. Very important. Be careful of your spelling, or even your, even if you have an extra space in here. If you do, you won't be able to find your picture when you pull it up, because you're gonna write in the title, and it isn't going to show. I did picture it. Change it to the format that you want, save, and go on and play. As I say, this is a long layout, so I'm going to be doing 4 pictures on this one. As I said before, I'll be making extra videos to show you how to go about marking. And your last picture should be of your ceiling, so I'll play until I get a picture of my ceiling. So I'll be back in just a sec. So, I actually blew myself up in this picture, which means I have to start all over again, which is why I haven't done anything to the other pictures. So you start from the beginning, you go up to your different pictures, and you get that last picture of the ceiling as well. So I'll start over again, and I'll get to that point, and I'll get back to you. But this just shows you some of the problems you can have along the way. Okay, I'm at the ceiling of at the end of my game. This will be my last picture. All I have to do is give them the strategy of how to drop the additional obstacles, how to get to the ceiling and drop that. Basically, I just take another screen, print screen, go back to my paint, paste, save, and this is level 55, and we actually did take 4 pictures in this game. Like I say, we usually only take 2 or 3, but I also said we were going to do everything we could out of this level to show you everything you need to do. Now I'll go back and make another video to show you what to do with these pictures. And that should give you pretty much the idea of how to do your screenshots, how to save them, and how to do your strategy and statistics. Those are all things you need to keep a record of. So I will see you in the next video.